About to put a new table to rest. Not to rest. About to finish it up and get it ready to go to the customer. It is the 8 foot long. The 8 foot long. I guess they call it a TV console. It's all stained now in Jacobine. I've got the top. I've got one coat of polyurethane on the top so far. I'm fixing the polyurethane, the bottom parts. This is 8 foot long, and right here is where it's sectioned together underneath the tabletop, so it's easier for the customer to transport. This will be closed in closer because underneath it I've got a place to run a bolt through right here, and that can be bolted together, so it'll pinch this together here instead of have that gap, so it'll make it look like one 2x4. It would be a 2x4 if it's sandwiched together, just like the ends here. So that's just so it can be carried easier. Top is one solid piece till it'll lift off, and I guess when the customer gets to their house, they either have the option of going underneath like I do with the screws to attach it to the top, or they can go through the top with some small screws, but I'd probably recommend going under here with maybe a 1.5 inch screw. Got the little boards there, the 1x4s for the bottom and the middle shelf, and then you got the X designs on the end. So once I get this several coats of polyurethane, I'll sand it down a few more times, and it'll be ready to go to its new home. All right, got one coat of polyurethane on the frame, on the bottom boards, middle shelves. You can still see it's got a little shine to it. I went ahead and put the second coat on the top because I did this coat this morning, and by the evening it was dry, so I went ahead and put the second coat on there. It won't end up being quite that shiny when it dries. I'll put a third coat over the top and maybe a second and third coat over the shelf part of it, but the frame I'll just put that one coat on there. And but what'll happen next is after all this dries, I'll go ahead and lightly sand it with a 120 grit sandpaper, and then I will put a final coat over it. The 120 grit sandpaper, that'll take off some of the grainy dust that it raises up for the polyurethane. It'll raise up a little bit of the dust on the wood, so it'll be like a little gritty feeling. So I'll take this 120 grit sandpaper here, actually 220 grit sandpaper, and you see this has been used a lot, but I'll lightly go over top of it, of the shelf part of it, real lightly, not real hard or anything to scratch it or anything. It will scratch after this polyurethane's on there. If you go over it too hard with the sandpaper, it'll scratch it. So I'll just lightly go over it, knock off a little bit of stuff that's risen up out of the wood from the polyurethane. Then I'll put a final coat over it, and then I'll lightly sand it one more time after it dries, and then that'll pretty much be it. It'll be ready to go.